Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Sally, and this is Wrestle MSX.
Damian Priest. We got straight into it with the opening match being the men's Money in the Bank match. Jey Uso, LA Knight, Andrade, Drew McIntyre, Carmelo Hayes and Master in the Bank himself, Chad Gable. Just as with SmackDown, with Jey Uso and LA Knight standing tall in the ring, we have the same here after the rest of the contenders had cleared themselves out of the ring, leaving Jey and Knight. Chad Gable German suplexed to ladder and to Andrade. Knight held Drew down as Jey Uso splashed him from the top rope. So it was all go. We then had a yeet yeah face off once again, this time at the top of the ladder. This came to an end though with Carmelo Hayes pushing the ladder over. I think the favourite spot of the night was Andrade hitting a sunset flip powerbomb on Hayes from the ladder to the mat. Incredible. Chad Gable then hung onto the briefcase, which was still suspended above the ring, as Jey Uso pushed the ladder away. Gable just hanging there with nowhere to go but down. After a few moments, he dropped to the mat face first. Jey Uso then climbed the ladder and looked as though he might win, but then Drew McIntyre threw a ladder at him and knocked him off. This left Drew to climb the ladder alone. He unhooked the case and became the Money in the Bank winner. So, well done to Drew.
Yeah.
Neither of us called that. Go and check out our predictions video for this event if you're interested. I think we both said Punk would intervene.
Oh yeah, 100% thought he would.
But he didn't. Drew won, so congratulate. I mean, yeah, it was a great match. Some massive spots, but well done
Really
to
good,
Drew for
yeah.
that.
The Intercontinental belt was on the line next, with Sami Zayn defending against Bron Breakker. After an even exchange at the start began the match. A running clothesline soon turned it in Bron's favour. Bron had control before a tornado DDT from Sami got him a 2 count. A blue thunderbomb also getting Sami a 2 count. A little later, Breakker managed to pull off a Frankensteiner and cover Sami for a 2. Sami then rolled out of the ring for a breather, but Bron took this as a challenge, got out of the ring himself and charged full pelt at Sami. As Bron approached Zayn to hit him with the spear, Sami jumped over him and avoided the collision. So Bron clotheslined Sami over the announcer's table instead. As the two men got back in the ring, Sami hit Bron with an exploder and lined up an haluva kick. The kick was missed and Sami got gorilla press slammed down to the mat. Bron set up for a spear once again, but Sami countered and then hit Breakker with a haluva kick and covered him for the 1-2-3 and retained his belt.
Next we hear from John Cena. He tells us he's going to retire next year. But apparently he's booked himself in at the Royal Rumble match, he's already drawn his number, Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania. In fact, he's doing all of next year. But we can discuss how we think he'll end his career again. The time isn't now.
We then head to the Judgment Day's den and see Damian Priest telling the gang not to interfere in his match. Drew McIntyre or not, and they all agree. Balor seemingly a little reluctant too. As Priest leaves, the camera zooms in on Balor's face, who's looking very annoyed.
This leads us to the next match. Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Priest coming out with a purple cape on, looking more like a vampire Conan the Barbarian baddie. Seth nearly hitting a pedigree on Priest within the first 10 seconds. The match got off to a frantic start. As the match continued though, Priest would become more and more edgy. He put Seth down with a move, then turn and look up the rampway, expecting to see Drew running down with his Money in the Bank briefcase, ready to cash in. At one point, after Seth had put Priest down, even he turned towards the ramp and shouted for Drew to come down. A splash by Seth got a 2 count. This was followed by a sit-down powerbomb from Priest on Seth, but again, only for a 2. Seth then managed to get a stomping on Priest for yet another 2 count, which was followed by a Razor's Edge for yet, you guessed it, another 2. But then it all went a little bit wrong. After hitting a superplex on Priest when both men were on the top rope, Seth followed up with a Falcon Arrow and covered Priest. Not chest-to-chest cover, but his leg was over him, maybe a hand, and Priest's shoulders were clearly on the mat. The ref started to count, and as his hand came down for 3, he pulled it away at a count of 2 3/4. Had Priest kicked out? No. Had Seth broken the pin? No. Had someone come out and disrupted the match? No. There was absolutely no reason why the ref could not have counted to 3. Maybe he's a massive Judgment Day fan.
Could be.
And he didn't want Priest to leave. Seth didn't know what was going on and looked confused. Priest put his hands to his face as he knew he'd done something wrong. What an absolute
While Michael calms down, back to the match. Finally, it happened. Drew Mac headed down to the ring, case in hand, ready to cash in. I think this is what led to the mistake. I think, as Seth covered Priest after the Falcon Arrow, Drew's music was possibly meant to play and Seth was meant to break the cover on Priest. But obviously, Drew's music never played and this led to the massive botch.
massive botch.
Anyway, Drew got in the ring and cashed in his case. The ring announcer then told us it had now become a triple threat match. Absolute pandemonium then ensued. Super kicks, clotheslines and half a claymore happened, all with 30 seconds of Drew entering the contest. But then, just as McIntyre was dragging Priest towards the middle of the ring, presumably to cover him, CM Punk showed up.
Oh, wrong match, Punk. We said you'd be in the ladder match.
He got in the ring, beating up Drew with the two men then ending up outside the ring. Punk then got a chair and started hitting Drew with it. Punk left him to go pick up the belt, which was at ringside. McIntyre then made his way back to the ring, where Punk then hit him again, and this time with the belt. Punk got out of the ring and sat cross-legged on the announcer's table as he watched Priest then hit South of Heaven on Drew and cover him for the win. The ramifications of this will be absolutely massive. Not only has Drew cashed in and lost the Money in the Bank cash-in, but Punk also cost Seth a possible title win. But more importantly, it cost him another shot at the title while Priest is champion. As Priest disappeared up the rampway, you see Seth giving Punk a few choice words.
I think I would have done.
Punk screwing Drew in the way he did is like winning the lottery and then someone just tearing up your ticket.
It's just, it's unbelievable. After that, I think we need to calm down and watch a nice, relaxing 6 women's ladder Money in the Bank match. Io Sky, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, Zoey Stark, Lyra Valkyria and Chelsea Green competing in it. It started with 5 women going outside the ring to get ladders, leaving Chelsea Green standing there trying to jump up and get the case from the mat. See, she's there for the comedy.
Definitely.
Lyra Valkyria fisherman suplex Stark onto a ladder, then Stark seemingly and inadvertently smashed her head onto a ladder while performing a move on Valkyria. Ouch.
Yes.
A swanton by Stratton to the outside from the top turnbuckle took most of the other competitors out before Io Sky got suplexed by Valkyria. Valkyria was hanging from the rungs of the ladder by her feet when she performed this. It looked very impressive. Naomi then kindly got 2 ladders out from under the ring for Green and Stratton to set up next to one another. Back in the ring, and all 6 women had a go at climbing the ladder and getting the briefcase, with Io Sky at one point performing some kind of slam or driver on Zoey Stark from the top of one ladder onto another ladder that had been set up and placed between the middle rope and the rungs of the ladder they were on. Io looked hurt, and I think she was hurt. I think she caught a tailbone.
Yeah.
Anyway, the finale was in sight. 2 ladders set up under the briefcase. Chelsea Green ascending one, Tiffany Stratton the other. As the 2 reached the top, Stratton pushed Green's ladder with Green at the top. The ladder fell and Green went crashing through the 2 tables that had been set up previously outside the ring. The hit was massive. It looked amazing, and although she was there for the comedy, I doff my cap to you, Chelsea Green. That was incredible, that hit she took. With no one in sight or able to stop Stratton, she reached up, unhooked the briefcase, and became the women's Money in the Bank winner. Wow, that was, incredible match.
I told you.
You got one right.
Final match of the night, and the one that I know Michael was looking forward to most, the Bloodline, which was Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, accompanied by Tangaloa, against Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Cody Rhodes started the match with Solo, but before a finger was laid, Solo tagged out to Tama Tonga.
Chicken.
Tonga was clearly the fall guy, as he got the beating from all 3 members of the face team with quick tags. Tama eventually managed to tag in Jacob Fatu, who fell victim to a vintage Orton straight away. As Orton turned round to set himself for an RKO, he found Fatu standing there, not even feeling the effects of the previous move.
It's rock hard.
This turned the tables, and it was the Bloodline's turn to deal some damage. Randy got punished and hot-tagged Owens, who did manage to clear house, even getting a 2 count on Tama Tonga after a swanton. Tama tagged out, and it was Jacob's turn to shine after putting the hurt on Owens. The Bloodline punished Owens for a good 5 minutes.
Maybe even longer.
Yeah.
Owens made his way over to Orton to tag, but Lyra pulled Orton's legs from under him, sending him crashing to the floor. Owens finally tagged Rhodes, who faced off against Sokoa, who ate a disaster kick, then followed a Cody cutter on Tama. The ref then got taken out by Solo, but not on purpose, may I add. With the ref down, Solo was hit with the Crossroads, Frog Splash and RKO. He was lawless, but not by the Bloodline. Jacob was then Frog Splashed through the announcer's table by Owens. Back in the ring, and Orton RKO'd both Tama and Tanga before suffering a Samoan spike from Solo. Rhodes grabbed Solo for a Crossroads, but a now recovered Fatu jumped from the top rope and connected with Rhodes. Jacob then hit an implant DDT on Rhodes before Solo Samoan spiked Cody once more for good measure. With Rhodes down, Solo went for the cover. The ref just about recovered and countered Cody's shoulders to the mat. The Bloodline win, with Solo covering Rhodes for the victory. And I got that one right, didn't I? The Drew Punk storyline for me now is absolutely massive.
Yes.
I've never seen anything like this. Drew must be so
I
annoyed.
can imagine. I see them.
It's unbelievable. I mean, Punk could have intervened in the ladder match itself.
Yes.
But to mess up
The
cash-in mess
on
up
the same night.
is... it is. Well done, Triple H, or whoever. That is so smart. Love it. I think we drew on the predictions. I think we both...
Yes.
So I'm still champ. And if you're interested in what we had to say about who'd win, then please feel free to go and check out our predictions video, which just leaves me to say thanks again for watching.
And we hope to see you Tuesday for our look at Raw.